topic is on the path to greatness. On the path to greatness. Now, unfortunately, my work is cut short by the millennium mighty gentleman who I think has stolen half my speech. And my own greatness, I believe, is in check. And I better come up with something. Let me start with one of two quotations that I would share with you this evening. I'm not a speaker. What I do is write. And my quotations are very limited. One is from Geoffrey Boycott, perhaps the greatest technician the game of cricket has seen, at least up to 1981. Geoffrey Boycott says the word great is grossly overused. The word great is grossly overused, says Geoffrey Boycott. Great cover drive. Great shot off the covers on the back foot. Grossly overused work. So on the path to greatness, what can we collect in order to make this greatness worthwhile? So I think in the time stipulated for me, I'll be sharing a few views with you. I'll be sharing a few views with you in the only way I know how to share views, by telling a few stories. So I think in the next 10-15 minutes or so, I'll be sharing with you a few stories which hopefully will fall together at some point. Because I think this evening I'm here as a messenger, and to deliver a message, I ought in some way. On the path to greatness. The story starts half a lifetime ago, 16 years ago. I am 16 years old, running 17, at a rival institute, says Mr. Heshika, Kingswood College, 4 kilometers from here for people who are not familiar with the geography. Small school compared to this eminent institute. Many clubs, many societies, 40 odd. I'm not a member of any. The only thing I do at school is debating. Debating. That takes 4 people. This is a school which is more concerned about their rugby and their cricket. Debating is a marginal activity. So it is ironical 16 years later today, actually, the debating team is doing better than the cricket and the rugby teams right now. But that is a topic for a different TEDx. So, 16 running on 17, debating. My first debate for high school was against Trinity, at Trinity. When I was 15, a year earlier, we lost the debate. Trinity had this brilliant debate competition back then. It was a hotbed for all would-be debaters in Kandy at that point. It was a fixture no one missed if you are into debating. TCLA debates, Trinity College Literary Association. A year later, all the seniors had left the team. I was the greenhorn. And by now I have been, unwillingly promoted to senior status. I'm captain of the team. I'm grooming a few youngsters to take with me for whatever tournaments would come up. And then comes TCLA. Teacher in charge says, no, you can't go. This is our work cut out. And we are like, teacher, I think we really have to. This is the center stage of all debate. No way. Teacher says, Trinity is this eminent institute. You are a small school, you are a young team. You can't go there to get humiliated. In a situation like this, words of another important friend whom I would get to know later, whose words I would take seriously, most probably came to my mind subconsciously, even though I didn't know such words existed. The words of my good friend, Don Vito Corleone, the Godfather. The second quotation, a man but has one destiny. A man but has one destiny. So the first ingredient on the path to greatness is to be alert to your destiny. To be alert to your destiny and to take that initiative when it comes your way. Teacher says no debating. Trinity is out of bounds. What does the team do? This is a tough decision for a 16-year-old, I'm telling you. On hindsight, it looks like a cakewalk. You go for the debate, you don't tell the teacher. You go for the debate, you don't tell the teacher. Only one person knows that Kingswood debating team came to Trinity 16 years ago, half a lifetime ago. That is the security guard of the school. You come to Trinity, and the rest is history. A topic for a different TEDx. Many years later, I'm still working with the debating fortunes of that school, Kingswood. Many years later. This is about 13, 14 years later. Problem with Sri Lankans, you go to high school, you leave high school, you never leave high school. So debating has had a kind of a downfall, mixed fortunes. No very good speakers, average speakers. Lot of controversy regarding who should take on the team for the next yard. I'm on Facebook, chatting to a guy, unknown guy. The only thing I know about this guy is he's studying in some class at Kingswood, school I studied in. Halfway through these interesting chats, he's a very interesting guy, mathematics stream, very well versed in literature. He's talking literature to me, my subject. Halfway through I realize this guy is grammatically coherent. The chats are grammatically coherent, perfect grammar. And then I'm thinking, Don Vito in the back of my mind, if this guy can type this well, if this guy's typing is this grammatically coherent, how would his speaking be? I talk him up, I say, hey, you need to debate. Would you like to go for a trial? He's like, no way. I'm a socially diffident guy. I don't speak. I don't do speeches. I don't talk to teachers. I say, no, you have to try this out. Trial, just one trial. Just two people, me and another guy. Just do a speech for us, just to check whether you can speak. No. I say, look, meet me after school. I give him a time, 1:45, let's say. Meet me at 1:45 at the gate. I'll be there. I stay there till 2:15. Guy doesn't turn up. Okay, fine. Chat him up again. Somehow managed to press gang him to doing a speech, trial speech. 4-minute speech. Some topic to do with revolution and society. He comes, weekend, Saturday morning, isolated classroom, corner of Kingswood College. He says, okay, can I have a few minutes to prepare myself? I'm like, fine, okay, take your time. So he has a few sheets of paper with him. He's going through it. The clock ticks by. I say, okay, now preparation enough. You better get on with your speech. 4-minute speech. Revolution and society. Guy talks for 19 minutes. Second minute into the speech, my mouth stretches from one cheek to the other. Picked up a potential that in the next 3 years would take Kingswood debating back on track. Be alert and pick the initiative. He tells me many years later, the first meeting I slotted with him, 1:45 at the gate. He had been watching me from the top of the school, hoping that I would go away. Persistence helps sometimes. You have to realize your own path, which is open for you. You have to take it no matter what. When I started writing, 2006, 10 years ago, I take my writing to a couple of publishers for their feedback. They tell me that I can't write. They tell me that I don't know how to tell a story. They tell me that my grammar is awkward, my grammar is odd. I know that my story makes sense. I know that my expression is being delivered the way I want it delivered. I know that the publisher is dumb. I know that the publisher hasn't read any literature beyond the 19th century. What do? I publish my own thing. If R.K. Narayan, the great Indian writer that I admire, can have his own publishing house to publish his work, I will publish my work. Because I know that my work is solid. You don't allow a stumbling block to halt your path. You don't allow a stumbling block to make you change your route. You break the stumbling block. Time and time again, you will have some thorny superior. If you are young, very often an adult. An adult who is not going to supersede you in years. Very often there is a thorny stumbling block halting your way. It can be a teacher. It can be a ill-versed publisher. You have to break through, you have to shatter through. The stumbling block can move ahead. Footnote, the teacher who didn't allow us to go for the debate, later she joined Trinity College. Trinity stopped coming for debates. Put 1 and 1 together, don't come up with 11. On the path to greatness, you have to be a game changer. You have to be innovative. The mainstream, you cannot be a part of. You be a part of the mainstream, you're done, you're dead. That's it. Who innovated slog hitting in cricket? Who innovated hitting over the top in the first 15 overs in one-day international cricket? Not Sri Lanka. New Zealand. New Zealand in 1991. Martin Crowe, gentleman died a few months ago, cancer. Brilliant cricketer, stylist, true stylist of the game. Martin Crowe, innovation. Then what happens? Sri Lanka picks it up. Sri Lanka picks it up somewhere around 1993 late, 94, going into 95. Gives it a local flavor. What Martin Crowe did was, he promoted one batsman, Mark Gredbach, middle order batsman, bulky guy, promoted him up the order to hit over the top. Sri Lanka used 2 batsmen. You innovate, but you give it your style. You give it your style. What about Sanath Jayasuriya? What about Muthaiya Muralidharan? What about Lasith Malinga? If Sanath Jayasuriya changed his style in order to meet the textbook requirements of cricket, how many runs would he have scored? If Muthaiya Muralidharan discouraged himself from using the same angle, the same action he bowled in, every time he came up against some kind of criticism, how many wickets will he take? You have to keep to your path, no matter what, innovating and staying a shy away from the mainstream. Whatever you do, on the path to greatness, you have to realize radicalism and an accident are not the same thing. Whatever break you make, whatever move you take, you have to be socially conscious, you have to be historically aware. These are 2 things you pick up. These are 2 things you can always use to your advantage as you move along. If your radical move is an accident, there is no initiative to take there. Take, for example, Muhammad Ali, who called himself the greatest. There is one for ego. Muhammad Ali, he opposed the Vietnam War. He said, no, Viet Cong called me nigger. Compulsory service, he said no. He would rather serve a jail term. Historical awareness. He comes out of jail. He takes his gold medal, won at Rome, throws it away. That is true greatness. Now this is where our friend Lasith Malinga fails. Lack of historical consciousness of who he is, what he represents. The clock is running on me. I'll speed you up. Otherwise my greatness would also be doubted if I outstay the clock. Couple of other things I would like to share with you before I sum up. A true great innovator, you always anticipate. You always envision. You're not a part of someone else's reality. You envision reality for the others. In other words, what I'm saying is, in this complicated game of chess, which we call life, you're your own chess player. Ranil Wickramasinghe, Sajith Premadasa. Anticipation. That is where one succeeds. That is where one has to back away. Anticipation is such a sensitive thing. It can backfire on you, right? In the least space that is allowed. The tragedy of Julius Caesar, forget about Sajith Premadasa, the tragedy of Julius Caesar, lack of anticipation. Great guy who is only a stone's throw or a knife stab away from a fall, 44 BC, with half the continent at his mercy, not heeding advice, not seeing that, not anticipating a fall that would come his way. The tragedy of Mahinda Rajapaksa? Question mark. And of course, one of the most cardinal values I will share with you, for anyone who is interested in greatness, integrity. You have to be honest. You have to be honest to yourself, whatever you do. Plenty of examples where men who were cut out to be great failed this final hurdle of integrity. Examples from our time. Examples from our game, once again, the game I've been quoting right throughout, cricket. Mohammad Azharuddin of India, nation's son, the biggest idol in the cricketing sphere in India, stumbling at that last hurdle of integrity. Hansi Cronje, one of my own personal heroes, Hansi Cronje, who I think fatally died in 2002 on my birthday itself, right? Once again, failing that hurdle of integrity. Let me give you one example of an incident where integrity worked. This was once again rival institute, Kingswood College, 1997. Tragic incident early in the morning. It's 6:50 a.m. Young boy hit by a bus on the zebra crossing. Perera. Most of my classmates thought that it was me. They were happy for a moment until they realized it was not me. 6:50 a.m. with a cricket bat to play cricket. He comes in the morning. Perera, my own contemporary at school, hit by a bus, level zebra crossing. I come to school in the morning. Emmen's brains all over the road. What happens is the principal is not at school that day. And some unruly boys, what they do is they get together, they burn the bus. They burn the bus. The principal is not there. He has gone for a principal's meeting in Colombo. Principal comes back. He assesses the situation. Mr. R.B. Rambukwella, short guy, moustache, short in speech, typical in words. He vacates his seat because he believes that if his school cannot be run according to the law, whether he's there or not, he's not suitable to be the head of that institute. True greatness, abiding by integrity. This, that, and the other. I'm up to my last 10 seconds. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Hope that my ideas made some kind of impact to you on this evening. Thank you.